Hello everyone, TeresaLouise here. Welcome to Sunday Sew and Chat. I hope everybody is doing well today. I'm cold. It's another cold, rainy, cloudy, foggy, whatever day. And by cold, I mean it's just barely even 50. Hi Brenda. Hey Kim. Well, I'm glad you popped by for a second. I hope you have a good day. Hi, Polly. Brenda has rain also. Hey, Nancy. Hi, Donna. Hi, Willa. You know, Willa, every time I start talking, she thinks I'm talking to her. So, yeah. Got my puppy shirt on today. So today I am going to work on a sewing project. Don't faint. The Friendship quilt that we started yesterday for Jelly Roll Day. Um, Started it over on Donna's channel, handmade by Ying. So sewed over there for quite a few hours, and then I went on over to Katie's channel, the Greenland Quilter, and we sewed did it over there too. So hey, why not just keep going and do it on my channel also, right? So if you feel like continuing with this project, grab your stuff. If you just want to get started on it, it's not a one-day project. I can tell you that, but it is a fun project. It's easy to sew, and I think that you end up with a very nice quilt. So I will give you the supplies that you need and cutting instructions. Then I will say hello to everybody again in the chat, and then I'll get to sewing. So, all right. So I am a bit tired today. I think yesterday was a little much, a little too much. Okay, I'm done. I'm done petting. I'm all done. Yeah. She doesn't think I'm done. I know. I know. You want to get in my lap. I know. She's too big for a lap to be a lap dog. Unless I'm on the couch, then she can, lay partly on me. Okay, so for this Friendship quilt, um, for a 12 block quilt, you're going to need one jelly roll that has at least 42 strips that are 2.5 by width of fabric. And then you're also going to need half a yard of a contrasting fabric, something that you would want, to stand out for your stars. So a half a yard of that. You are going to cut that jelly roll in each strip. You're going to get 8 pieces that are 2.5 by 4.5. And then you're going to get 2, maybe 3, depending on how wide or how long your jelly roll strips are. You're going to get 2.5-inch squares. So after you cut the 8 out, whatever you have left over, just cut out 2.5-inch squares. By cutting up 42 strips, you should get 336 pieces that are 8.5 by 2.5, or not 8.5, 4.5 by 2.5. And you're going to get a little over 100 of the 2-inch squares, but you're only going to need 48. I have this pattern memorized now because I've said it so many times that I don't even have to look at my my sheet. Okay. Then from the 1 yard or half a yard, the half a yard of accent fabric, you're going to cut that into 6 strips that are 2.5 by width of fabric. Then you're going to subcut that into 4.5 by 2.5 inch pieces. And you should get probably at least 9 out of each strip. And you need 48. Okay. So that should get you started. If you need to iron your jelly roll, I recommend that you do not use steam because a lot of steam will shrink your fabric a little bit, and so you don't want that to happen with these strips because you want them to be 2.5 inches. Okay. Alrighty, so that should get you started. A jelly roll and a half a yard of accent fabric. Get to work. Start cutting, start pressing. Get her done. Alrighty. If I can do it, you can do it. Let's see what else we got here. Hi, Kathleen from Connecticut. How you doing? Hi, Donna H. How are you? Hi, Elena. How are you doing? Oh, thank you for saying hello to Willa. Hi, Jen. How are you? Oh, I don't know. YouTube keeps changing the viewing, so I don't know if it's flipped my view or not, but I'm not too sure what you're seeing, but the sewing machine is on my right and my cutting area is on my left. Polly said she just got home and the roads are wet, but it's a beautiful day. Yeah, it's cold here. I was thinking about turning the heater on. Hi, Libby. How are you doing? Hi, Christy. I put the pimples down, Christy. Pimples down. Hello, Susan. I'm not sure if this project will make it to the retreat. All my pieces have been cut and they are screaming for me to get to sewing. Yeah, retreat's not too far off though. Yeah, cat lady who sews. If your jelly roll only has 40 strips, then all you need to do is go through your yardage that you have and cut, find some fabric that matches your jelly roll, that would look good because, the same thing happened to me and I just found something that matched my fabric that I'm using and then I cut 2 more strips that I needed. Otherwise, if you don't want to do that or you don't have the stash to do that, you can make the 9 block quilt because you only need 252 potato chips or chips. And whereas with the 12 block one, you need the 336. So It's up to you. Oh, the retreat starts on Wednesday? Yeah, well, I don't know if you could, unless you just sew really fast, you might have it done before Wednesday. I don't know. I mean, I sewed on it all day yesterday and I have 11 of the units. So there's 4 units in a block. Okay. So I have 11 units made. So that would be 2 blocks, almost 3 blocks made. But, I wasn't like sewing continually because I had, I stopped and talked about the project and all that stuff. So, Christy, yeah, I've been long arming for probably 5 or 6 years. And um, I've always tried to make sure that the nipples are down. And whenever I've done it the wrong way, I can tell the difference. So, you know, and I think it really depends on how big those little bumps are. The smaller they are, it's not going to matter so much. And it makes a difference if your batting has scrim on it, which is a really thin protective covering over the batting. So chances are it makes your batting more stable, and um, it helps to keep the batting from going through the stabilizer. So it really kind of depends on a few things. Hi, Tammy. Well, I'm really glad to see ya. Hi, Jaja. How are you doing? Um, oh, you see the opposite? My sewing machine is on the left. Oh, okay. I don't know that it matters all that much, does it? Yeah, but anyway, it's strange. It's been doing this opposite view for, I don't know, about 8 months. And I really think it's something that YouTube did because I have not made any changes at all to my camera. And I double checked the settings and everything like that. And I don't know. I just don't know. And I am going directly through YouTube for my video and not Zoom, whereas a lot of my friends use Zoom or uh, one of those other streaming platforms, and they don't seem to be having the problem that I do. But okay, so I'm just going to go right on to after you get all your fabric cut, then you're going to want to take um, 48 for the 12 block quilt. You want 48 of your 2.5 inch squares, and you're going to draw a line from corner to corner, a diagonal line on 48 of those. Okay, so there you go. And I'm going to sew a little bit, and you guys can watch. So, anybody out there um, doing this quilt? Hi, Suzanne. Yeah, yesterday when I was on with Donna and Katie, both of them use Zoom to record in. So that's the difference right there. So yeah, that's interesting. Freezing beets. Yum. Yeah, pickled beets. I love pickled beets. Those are good. Pickled spicy beets would be really good. Spicy hot. Okay. So I have 3 units done already, and I'm kind of looking at those over there. I have them laid out, and sorry, dog hair in my mouth. Um, this is what a unit looks like. Until I need to press those. Um, I can't get it out of my mouth. Hi, Mary Coon. How are you doing? Hi, Geraldine. Yeah, I barely recovered from the marathon yesterday. I don't know if I'm recovered or not. I'm still really tired. Anyway, so I just kind of look at the ones I've already done that are going to be matched up. I mean, I haven't sewn all the units together yet, so I could change it up. And what I'll do is go over to the design wall, put them up there, and then I can um, move the ones around that wherever I think they would look better. So that's one reason why I do not sew all the blocks together. All right. So if you already have your accent fabric done, I'm just going to go ahead and move on to this step, and then I'll come back to the accent stuff and talk about how to do the sew and flip. Okay. But I want to sew the first piece that you're going to sew together is the middle. So you're going to take 2 of your chips and sew them on the long seam. And then you will put a chip on the top, put a chip on the bottom, and then you're going to have 2 chips for the left side. Okay, let's see what I want. Right here, this gray one. So one right here, and one here. And then I need 1 chip on the right side that will go with my accent. And I think I'll use this pink one. All right. Oh, Mary's going on a retreat too that she's got to be to on Wednesday. Ooh, making a pot of soup. That sounds good. Hello, Kathy. I'm really tired today after the marathon sewing yesterday, but I'm okay. Hi, Roxanne. Oh, great, Geraldine. She says, I really enjoy this block. I have my fabric picked out and ready to cut. Awesome. I really enjoy it too. And I am I always test my stitch before I get going. I'm thinking about doing this in red, white, and blue type fabric, or, you know, a jelly roll that would work for Quilt of Valor. And then I'll do the stars again in the white. I think that would work really well for a Quilt of Valor quilt. So the next one I do will be for that. And I do happen to have a jelly roll that will work for that. And of course I have more white on white fabric. So I might not do it right after this one, but I'm at least going to get it cut up and ready, and I'll put it in a project box. Okay, now I'm going to take these two pieces and sew them together on the short seam. So you can do some chain piecing with this quilt. Okay, then I'm going to take one of the chips and sew it to the end that has the sew and flip on it. So in case you're wondering what a chip is, the chip is 4.5 by 2.5, and it's a thing now. So people call it potato chips or a chip block, potato chip blocks. It can be very scrappy, and I've seen people do them different ways, but the basic way that you put it together is the same. All right, so I'll press these. The other thing I like about these units is you don't have any seams that you have to match up. Uh, you only have some when you put the units together to make the block for this particular one. So there is that. But just for putting this 8 chips together, is that right? 2, 4, 6, yeah, 8 chips. No seams to match up. So it doesn't matter how you really press this. It's up to you. I press to the darker side fabric. But if you like to have your seams open, that's, you know, totally up to you. All right, so now I'm going to take this bottom chip, flip it over there, and then I'll sew that on. Hi, Candace. How you doing? Hi, 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 Lily. Yeah, Geraldine, I think the red, white, and blue would work great too. Um, Hello, MS Quilter Janet. How are you doing? Hi, Joan. Yeah, I've been going live at 1. or 1:30 lately, so on Sundays. All right. Next step is to take your long piece here, flip it over there, and attach it to the left side. Now, all of these units that you're making, your accent piece is always going to be in the lower right-hand corner of that unit, okay? If you don't do that, then your star will not turn out. Okay, so there's that. Now I can so that on there. Okay, so there it is. I know my camera view thing is backwards, so just so you know, this accent piece for the star is in the lower right-hand corner, and it looks like I lost bobbin chicken, so hold on a second. Yeah. Oh, luckily I have a bobbin that's ready, so yay. So after this one is empty, then I will do like 6 bobbins at a time or more, and then I'll totally clean my machine, oil it, super clean it, change the needle, all that stuff. Okay, I put a new bobbin in, I always check. Looks good. All right. Okay, that looks right. So we'll go ahead and press that. Yeah, I wish things weren't backwards in the view, but here it is. Um, and this is the accent fabric is in the lower right hand corner of this unit. Okay, lower right hand corner. Um, Mary says, no, I'm in Connecticut. I hope you have a wonderful time. I am challenging myself to do a one block wonder panel quilt. Oh my goodness. That'll be fun. Hi Gladys, how are you doing? I need to get brave and cut the fabric tomorrow morning. Hello Harriet, how are ya? I just I have just put my first block together. Looks good. Friendship, friendship chip. I call it the Friendchip quilt, but that's close. Really cute, Teresa. Hello, Joe. Super cute. Thank you. Okay, so I'm just going to put all those together. Alrighty. So the next step that you, if you are ready, is you drew your line on your 2.5 inch square diagonally from corner to corner. And you're going to take, I'm sorry, you're going to take your accent fabric that you're using for your star, lay it down there, and then this is going to go on top in the upper left hand corner. And you are going to sew on your line starting, or if you want to start, in the upper left hand corner down to the right hand side, ends in about the middle of the chip. Okay. Once you have, so you're going to sew upper left down to the lower right. You're going to sew on your line or just right, just tiny bit above that line on the right hand side of the line. Okay. Then now what I do is, before I cut the excess fabric off, I press it. So I go ahead and press it, because if you didn't sew it quite right, you have an easier time fixing it now before you cut off that excess fabric. So your 2.5 inch pieces here are going to be all on the right hand side of your chip, upper right hand side. Okay. Once you press it and you decide that it looks wonderful, you don't need to change anything, then you will cut 1/4 inch away from your line on the right hand side of your seam, and then you will get, I'm going to get a dark one here. Then you will get that. You can see there's my, where it's been cut. Leave 1/4 inch, and there you go. So you need 48 of these. Now, you cut all of your 2.5 inch squares from the jelly roll, but, and you need 48 of those, okay, for the 12 block one. But you don't have to use those. If you want to use a solid color for these, like maybe you want all of them to be red or blue or whatever matches your quilt, you can do that. You can make these all the same color. Mine just happened to be uh, part of what I used on the jelly rolls for the chips. Okay. All right. So you need 48 of these. 48. Now, if you have these done and you're ready, the next step is for the center piece, you're going to take two fabrics and sew those together on the long seam. And you're going to need 96 of these put together. Okay, is that right? Yeah. If you're doing the 12 block quilt. So you need 96 of those. Okie dokie, get to sewing. So I do have a bunch done up. And now I'm just putting the units together. Hi, Kathy. Oh, you had a bad cold? Finally feeling better? I'm working on the Friendchip quilt. I've made one on here before, but we did one yesterday over on Donna's channel, Handmade by Ying, for Jelly Roll Day. And so I started it out on Donna's channel. I was there in the morning. I think I was there for like 3.5 hours. And then I went over onto Katie's channel, Greenland Quilter, and sewed over there for 3.5 hours. So yeah, it was a really super long day for me yesterday. And I'm just really tired. I'm tired. Yeah. I'm pooped. But I'm here and I'm going to keep working on this, get a little more done. So. Yeah, it's backwards from what you're seeing. So I don't know why. We talked about this a little bit ago, but my view on my camera is showing everything backwards. So I'm sorry about that. Just know that accent chip goes on the lower right hand side of that unit. So lower right hand side. All right, so I'm going to get two of these. These are already sewn together. And then you will put a piece on top. Grab a chip there on the top. And then you're going to need two chips on the left side. Like this. And then you're going to need a chip on the bottom. And one chip on the right side. Okay, I'm going to okay. Oh, you're welcome. My pleasure. Hello, Melissa. How are you doing? The fabric collection that I'm using is Lala Batik. Part of it is like 20 of the strips. I had a small jelly roll, a half a jelly roll, and it was the line called Folktale. And then I had another half a jelly roll of flower pot. Okay, so take two chips, put it together, and sew the seam on the short side. And then a chip with your accent. And then on the bottom, this really reminds me of like how you put a log cabin together, you know. I mean, it's not exactly the same, but kind of the process is a little bit of the same. Okay, then I'll go ahead and press. And again, it doesn't matter. I still would not use steam for this until you're all done. Go ahead and get this pressed. Okay, now you're ready to sew your two long sides on to the side. Just make sure that you keep your accent on the lower right hand side. Okay, now your next piece. Let's see, where did I have that? It's fine. No, I think I had that up there. Doesn't really matter. Thank you, Kathy. No, no, Kathy. I very seldom pick a border backing binding prior to my quilt tops being done. I'm kind of one like fly by the seat of my pant type of girl. But once I do get the top done, and if I put a border on this, I usually pick something out of my stash, and then I pick a backing, and I keep those together. So I won't use that backing on something else. So I put those two things together and put it in my closet. And I usually don't make binding until the quilt is ready for binding. And sometimes I use the leftover backing, and sometimes I use leftover border fabric. Sometimes I just use white. Well, there has been a few times making quilts that I've had a border and uh, backing and all the stuff that I needed for the whole project, but that does not happen very often. Okay, so now I'm going to pick another accent. Let's see, what do I don't have a darker one. Hey, Mona. Hi, Linda. And just keep going. Yes, it is an Oliso iron, and I've had that iron. Yeah, I do like it. I like it quite a bit. I've had it for what, 7 or 8 years now, and it's my primary iron that I use, and I haven't had any problems with it. So they're not cheap. I did get mine on sale. So I think I paid like $89 or something like that for it, which is, I know, ridiculous, very, very low price. But yeah, so I got a super deal on it, so I really couldn't pass it up. I have thought about getting a cordless iron, but you know, I should have a spare, I guess, because, well, I do have one of those little teeny irons, and I used to use that quite a bit, but I put it over in another area where I sew sometimes, so I have an iron there. Mona, I'm working on the Friendchip quilt that we were doing yesterday. Sewing chips. So what are you guys working on? You didn't get on YouTube yesterday? Wow. Okay. Geraldine is making dog bandanas for the neighbor's dogs. Oh, how cute. Shelly says, beats are done and now I'm just watching you. Awesome. Kathy is cross-stitching Berry Basket by Lindsay Waite. Very, very cool. Linda says, I love my cordless, even though expensive, but I do not need to watch the cord. Yeah, that's the good thing about it. I can show you what a 9-block one will look like, Catherine. Um, this is the one I made before, but it's a 9-block and not a 12-block. And it has a small border on it. Okay. Thank you. Let's see. Brenda says, I'm finishing up. Whoop. I'm finishing up those dang Christmas swap blocks. Did you get your potato chip quilt done? I think you did, didn't you, Brenda? I'm making placemats from panel. Oh, cool, Lily. I'm done for the day. I finished the last zipper pouch I had cut. I just finished cutting a bunch of bowl cozies. Oh, awesome, Mona. You're welcome. Joan says, I missed all the YouTubers yesterday. I went to 3 quilt shops in Illinois and I finished one section. The shop hop ends at the end of the month, so I'm trying to get as many done. That would be fun. I would rather go to some shop hops than sit and sew all day, honestly. Kathy says, I love the fall fabric in your quilt. Thank you. Very nice quilt pattern. Thank you. Do you think there would be a way to put more stars in more places? Um, yes. Yes, I do. Like, what if you put another accent fabric over on this side with, with the star point? I think I would have to draw it out on my sketch paper and see how that turns out. I think you could do it with either one of these. I don't think you could do it with the ones in the middle, but the ones on the ends, I think you could. You might even be able to do it with this one up here. I don't know. Yeah, I would have to sketch it out and see, but I think, yeah, I think it's doable. I thought about that originally, or having like an hourglass thing in there somewhere. But, you know, everything you do makes it a little more complicated. So I had to unsew a couple of sashings. I got overzealous. 2 rows to go. Okay, well, I really like that chip quilt that you're doing. Um, I think mainly, because I like to have something breaking patterns up. Because to me, the chip block in itself is just very busy. So, yeah, um, just another reminder. I know my camera is backwards, so just make sure that your accent piece for your star is in the lower right hand corner of this unit. And it's going to be the same way on all the blocks. How many blocks? 48. 48 units, not blocks. So you need a total of 48 of these, okay, to make the 12 block quilt. Now, you could do a little more chain piecing than what I'm doing here. some reason, that is supposed to be, I think, 8.5. Let me see what I got here. It's a little off. So I'm just going to square it up the best I can. Okay. Keep on going. Now, before I sew all these together, I will spray these units like with starch, or you can just use water if you want to, and get them pressed down flat really good before I sew them into blocks. All right, so my accent piece, lower right, one of these in the middle. And now I need one for the top, one for the bottom. This is a really pretty fabric right there. Okay. One over here. There. That looks pretty. Joe, did you get my message? That's from Mona. Hi, Lisa. Oh, I would like to see it, Linda. Yeah, I think I will sketch it out and see how that would look, what exactly needs to be done. But yeah, I wouldn't mind a few more stars either. Maybe with the red, white, and blue one that I do, I'll do it with more stars. We can call it stars and chips. Instead of stars and stripes, stars and chips. Come on now. I thought it was funny. Play on words. So Brandon fell down yesterday and landed on his wrist. So it's all swollen. He says that it's not broken, but it is very swollen today. And of course, I can't get him to go to the hospital to get an x-ray. He says, give it a couple of days. I'm like, if you give it a couple of days and it is broke and it heals wrong, then you have to go into surgery and have that fixed. So you're just making it worse. But now, I keep all of the braces that we have gotten throughout the years. And I have to say, most of them fit Brandon. so, so I was able to dig out a brace that fit him. And lo and behold, he actually put it on, okay? I thought I would faint. My husband does not like to take my recommendations on health care stuff. He's such a little turd. All right. Or big turd, actually. All right, go ahead and press this. What if you snowball? Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Brenda. Snowball the opposite corner. That's kind of what I was thinking. I was wondering what that might look like. I'll see if I have some little white pieces. I can test that out. Or if somebody has a, what is it, EQ8, the program that you use to design quilts. Okay, once again, make sure your star accent is on the lower right-hand corner. Or it's on the whatever corner consistently. I don't know why I put a pin in there. Yeah, I tried to get him to let me put ice on it, and he didn't want that because it was too cold. So I'm like, you just have to leave it on for, 10, 15 minutes. Yeah. So much for fishing. We were going to go fishing. I don't think he's going to be able to do that because it's his right hand and he's right-handed. So, of course, I could go fishing and make him sit in the car and babysit the dogs while I fish. He could just hang out. I had a towel, Mona. I had a towel in my ice pack. Nope. All right. Okay. My fabric got kind of, I need to repress it right there. Okay, that's better. My hubby broke his elbow. It got infected and he had to go every day to therapy to get it washed out. It was a nightmare because he wouldn't go to the hospital. Exactly. Exactly, Brenda. Recently, my friend fell on her wrist and had to have surgery. They did it 2 days later. Yep, that's how men are. And I wouldn't mind driving him in. It's only, an hour and a half to the hospital, but I would do it. And, I just got to go in and get an x-ray, right? What is the big deal? He can move his fingers a little bit. He says it does hurt when he moves his fingers, but I think it would really hurt really bad if his hand was broken. If it's broke, I think it's like up here on top somewhere. Exactly, Joan. Yeah, it's oh. Susan, the temptation is real. I just finished chain piecing, trimming all the accent pieces. I honestly don't think I will wait until Wednesday retreat. You could always get another one ready to take with you on retreat. I actually think this is a fun block to make. And it would be super nice to use up your scraps with this block. Okay, one more in that. Teresa, do you machine quilt your binding or do you hand sew some of it? Um, I machine sew my binding because why not? That's why I have the sewing machine, so I don't have to hand sew, right? I know there's a lot of, opinions out there, and that's fine. If you want to hand uh, bind your quilt, you'd go right ahead because it's your quilt. You can do that. I have done some hand binding. So you machine stitch it on the front, then you flip it and you hand stitch it down on the back. I have done one, maybe two quilts, but they weren't my quilts. That was for somebody else, and they were paying for it. So, yeah, I'll do it if you pay me, kind of thing. But mostly I tell people if you want it bound, then I only do it by machine. Um, I think I'll use this one. I think I've gotten pretty good at binding with the machine. So I think it looks fine to me. It's good enough. I'm okay with it. And of course, if I was putting them in quilt shows, that would probably be different. You know, I'd probably get the judges saying machine binding, you know, negative. All right, I need green. There we go. One for the top, one for the bottom over here. That'll be good. And then, let's see. I'll switch these two. Okay, that looks fine. I'm happy with that. Yes, that is how I do binding. Oh, Mona still has a cold? Yeah, exactly, Geraldine. At least get the x-ray. This is the second time this week I have done this. I started with cutting up my flying geese. That's done now, laugh out loud. And now I'm on to this one. That's from Susan. You're not going to have anything to sew at retreat. How many days is your retreat? Wednesday to Sunday. Trust me, I have to say of kits and fabrics, so I will not be going empty handed. Oh, so many. Okay, gotcha. You'll be fine, in other words. Make sure I have it the correct direction I want it. Oh, it looks like the sun might be coming out. My back is starting to hurt. Might be time to get up for a minute. Probably could get it done faster if I would chain piece more, but I'm just trying to be careful and not to put two like fabrics together, you know. Hey Joyce, how you doing? Susan says, I'll be fine as long as I don't try to get ahead and prepare my fabrics. They look so yummy, I just can't help myself. Oh, yay. Joyce says, well, it took me long enough, but I got one completed block done. And are you happy with it? Oh, I know. I wish we could post pictures in the chat too. I did hear a rumor that they were going to make it to where you could hear, you could have some AI read the comments. I would have to test that out. That might not be too bad, but I don't know. Joyce says, no, not really. I think I should have picked something better, a better color than black and white, but it's all cut out, and so I'm going to finish it. You never know. It might turn out nicer than you think. Yeah, I would love to see pictures in the chat. Although, you know, if I would um, pay for Zoom and use Zoom, then I could have you post the pictures in Facebook, and then I could share the Facebook page with you while we were live. I need to figure out how to do that. That sounds like a really good winter project. Ooh, I don't want AI reading comments. Creepy. I know, right? Well, it depends on the voice. Like, if it was my favorite uh, storyteller, narrator, that I can't say that word. Um, you know, I listen to a lot of Audible stories, and one of the guys that I really like is Timothy Campbell. He's got a really nice voice, and he tells a story really good. Now, if he was reading the comments, I could go for that. Yeah, I heard about that, Kathy. But, I thought Orifil was too expensive to begin with. And I only, you know, I only bought Orifil if it was like at least 40% off, or I would get it in my subscription boxes. Otherwise, I could care less about Orifil, honestly. I don't, I think, there's a lot more hype about Orifil than there needs to be. I'm not crazy about it. Don't get me wrong, I like it okay. What I don't like about it is that it's only two ply and it does not work in the long arm. Or if you have machines that are super fast, like mine is, the thread breaks. And I have a lot better success with connecting thread. And it is 100% cotton also. So if that's what you're looking for, then I would go check with connecting threads. And they have lots of colors and they have different weights. They have 50 weight, 40 weight. Um, and for piecing, I always use 50 weight. And in my long arm, I like to use 40 or 50, either one. Doesn't matter much. So that's what I use most of the time. Yeah, I have to be more careful with my long arm, but I've tried Orifil I don't know how many times in my long arm and it doesn't work. It does okay in the bobbin because there's not a lot of tension there like there is in the upper part, but yeah, the upper part it don't matter where the tension is set. It just doesn't work for me. But I know a lot of people that use it and that's okay. If it works for you, then that's great. But I would suggest, trying some of the other brands out there, like the one from Connecting Threads. Um, and even though the thread from Connecting Threads is 100% cotton and it's three ply, it doesn't dust up near as much as Orifil does. There's not as much cotton dust. So, yeah, I do that too, Geraldine. In fact, I have a bunch of them over here I need to run through, use my leftover bobbins to get rid of that thread. I do that too. Oh, well, that's awesome, Shelly. That's awesome. She got a whole bunch of it in 2020 on comment sold. So she has a lifetime supply. Guterman, yeah, that's not bad. Yeah, I agree, Joe. They have nice fabrics too over in Connecting Threads. Waka? Walk? I've never heard of that thread, Mona. Now, see, Shelley, I think it's more dusty than the thread I get from Connecting Threads. But oh yeah, I don't know about Max Lock thread, Joyce. Okay, Mona uses it on her serger. But what about for regular piecing? Can you use that on for regular piecing on your quilt? And isn't that polyester? Okay, I need to get up for a minute. You've tried connecting thread? Okay. Oh. Everybody up and stretch. Looks like it got nicer outside. Warmed up a little bit. A little cloudy, but not too bad. Let's see, I use Walk Supplies too. They have a lot of type. Oh, that must be a store or something, huh? I don't know about quilts, but I use the sewing machine for garments. Okay. No, I've never used, well, I'm not going to say never. I did use one spool one time. It was okay. Brenda said she liked Missouri Star Quilt hand sewing thread. And yeah, so she liked that. We Quilt Studio. You can, one of the moderators can post your channel. Otherwise, you can't post any links if you're not a moderator. Sorry. But Mona or one of the other moderators out there, if you want to put her channel link in, you can do that. What's your name? Okay, back to sewing. Let's see, I got 4 more done. No, I didn't. I got 3 done. So, no, 4. Okay. I thought I had 4 done. Well, hello, Lisa, and welcome. I will check out your channel. Give me just a second. Okay, 4 more. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, enough for 4 blocks. Oh, thanks, Mona. Oops. Gosh darn it. Yeah, exactly. We don't want any special unwanted guests like what happened over on somebody else's channel yesterday. No, no, no. None of that. Okay. Hey, I'm already subscribed to you. So it has 1,100 subscribers and 138. Wonder if I got a notification about your video. No, because I don't have all clicked. Okay. So you guys could go check her out and see. It looks like she's got something going on with the serger. Interesting. Yeah, I'll have to check you out. Oh, looks like embroidery quilts. Okay, back to chat. Hello, Day. How you doing? Hi, Linda. Have you changed your channel name, Lisa? I don't know. I don't know. Okay, Linda's gonna make dinner while lurking. Leftovers hit the spot for us tonight. Sounds good, Day. If I had some leftovers. Linda, what's for dinner? Lisa says, I want to go live someday, but I'm too nervous to show my face. I don't know how you gals are brave enough to do it. Well, I was pretty nervous at the beginning, for sure. Really nervous because really it's like talking to yourself. So you got to get, you know, you got to get used to talking to yourself. Or that's what it kind of feels like anyway. But schedule it ahead of time. Um, or you can do a private one where you just invite like some of your people that you've known a long time that subscribe to you and start out small. You don't have to like do a full-blown one. You could just do a private one. Um, you just get better at it as you go, I guess. Hello, Alex. Oh, I used to play the guitar, but I haven't in a while. After I sew two middle chips, then I go to sew the top one on. The middle is too long. Maybe it's just mine. Nope, the middle won't be too long. So let me put this on a whiteboard. That might help. So your first one is this one, right? So it's going to be long ways, not this way, not this way, but the seam is going to be up and down, north and south. How's that? And the next one is your, yeah, grab accent. I just don't know why I do it in this order, but okay, so grab an accent, lower right hand corner, right? Just go ahead and set that there because I kind of like to try to make sure I'm not using that same color in other areas. All right, so one goes on top. So the seam is north, south, and then this one goes on top. And then you want one on the bottom here. Okay. And that is going to be, before you put the sides on, that is going to be 8.5 inches long. Okay. 8.5 inches long. So it will look really long until you put the sides on. Now you're going to put some sides on. Let's get this one. So you're going to put it the long way, north, south, long way. All right. And let's get a green one here. This green one. And this one is going to be long also. Now you need one with your accent, so get one for that. And it's going to be long also. All right. Remember, your accent is always going to be in the lower right-hand corner. I know my view is different, okay? So let's do the one on top. And then like that. Now you're going to do the one on the bottom. Okay, I'm going to press those. Okay, so now this piece is like 8.5 inches long. Okay, now you take these two pieces over here Lay them on top of each other like that, and sew the short end together. And the same thing with the one with the accent. You're sewing the short side. Okay, now we're going to press those. Now this strip should be 8.5 inches long. And this strip with your accent should be 8.5 inches long. Okay, so I always do this side first so I don't get it mixed up, because I want my accent to be on the lower right hand side. So I'm just going to go ahead and flip that over and sew that down. And now I'll sew this other piece on. So this whole unit, once it's sewn together, it should be 8.5 inches square. Depending on how you have your 1/4 inch seam set, right? Sometimes we're a little bit bigger, sometimes we're a little bit smaller. And as long as you're consistent throughout all of these, it really doesn't matter much, okay? Just be consistent. So if you have a fat 1/4 inch, okay. If you have, a skinny 1/4 inch, that's okay. Just do all your seams the same. All right, so there we are. Then you just press that. Okay, you got it? Great. Oh, welcome back, Melissa. Oh, that's awesome. Crackly leaves falling or under her feet. I like the sound of that. I'm having pizza for dinner too. Ooh, that sounds good though, Kathy. Country spare ribs, mashed potatoes, and corn on the cob. Mmm, yummy. The corner part is too wide for the top and bottom pieces. Um, okay, did this help, Jaja? You're welcome, Kathy. I have crunchy leaves too, but it's the heat drying them out. Okay, great. Thank you. All right, so I'll just press that. There we go. right. Now, if you wanted to, and you want to chain piece, you could, chain piece these. You need, I think it was 96. Yeah, 96 for the 12 block quilt. And then the ones that are sewn together this way, you need 96 of those. And then you would need 96 of these. But I like to design it as I go, and so that's kind of why I don't chain piece this. But it would make it a little bit faster, for sure. Joyce, that totally counts. Crunchy leaves are crunchy leaves. Exactly. Oh, you were sewing it wrong? Okay, gotcha. Nice black lab on your sweatshirt. Oh, thanks, Valerie. And I had to cut these collars off. Anybody else uh, hate the collars on sweatshirts? I mean, because it's usually like up here like that. Right? Oh, I hate that. So I just cut them off. Okay, what time is it? 3. What? Oh boy, I've almost been on for 2 hours. Oh. No, no berry picking, except for I would like to go get some elderberries. They look like they're about ready. Maybe when Brandon gets up from his nap, I'll see if he wants to go for a ride down the river and to chuck the elderberries. So I wanted to make some elderberry syrup or jam because elderberry is really good for your colds and stuff like that. So we have quite a few elderberry trees that grow along the river bank. They're just kind of hard to get to. And now with Brandon's sprained wrist, he won't be able to help me. All right. Yeah, I'm getting tired. So one on the top. Bottom. Two for the sides. There. Well, I'm glad you asked me about, how to sew it because uh, I, want it to turn out right for you. And I'm sure it doesn't help that my camera is showing everything backwards. I'm going to have to see if I can get that fixed. And the further down river you go from me, the more wild fruit there is. So I could pick rose hips. I could make some rose hip jelly, which is really good, full of vitamin C. They also some wild apples and apricots, plums. I haven't seen any blackberries, but they gotta be somewhere. But I gotta be prepared to process them, you know, which I could do tomorrow and the next day. Just plan on canning jelly, jam. Okay. Or I might just take a nap. That sounds good too. Yeah, I've started to have like just pizza or maybe tacos or something really easy on Sunday because I do the live stream. And usually I'm just, too tired to cook. So I just throw a pizza in the oven. I prefer my homemade pizza, but that kind of defeats the point of just having fast food, right? Okay, my next one, grab an accent. I added green peppers and onions on my pizza. Okay, Joyce. Oh, I guess you found it. Yeah, my email is under the description box. Oh, yeah, carameled apples. Those are good. All right, there's that one. Ooh, I don't think I've used this one yet. Or maybe I have. That's pretty. Let's see. One of those. And how about a gray one? Or kind of a taupe. And then I'll put this green one over here. That looks good. All right, here we go again. See how easy this block is, you guys? And I'll just lay that over there. See, now I'm kind of getting into the chain piecing thing. All right. Just a little bit. Definitely goes faster if you can chain piece and chain iron. Okay, those are done. Granny Smith carameled apples are the best. Boy, I haven't had a carameled apple in a long time. Okay. See, it's going a little faster now. I'll have to look at that after the live, Joyce. that one's done. Now on to the next one. I'm just leaving it on there because it holds my thread in place. And you don't go through as much thread if you have like leaders and enders. And with the thread prices the way they are nowadays, that's probably important. I'll turn that this way. Just so I don't have two polka dots next to each other. Oh, here's a stripe. There we go. Green one. Blue. Okay, let's see what's next here. This one? That's fine. Exactly, Joyce. Joyce says, I think it took me longer just picking out different chips so I didn't repeat in the 4 blocks. Yep. And I could grab my other design board and figure out 4 of them at a time. That would probably make it go a little faster. But really, if you don't care, then there are ways to make this go quite a bit faster. That's funny, Melissa. Oh my goodness, Joe. When Joann's was closing, they had a penny spool sale. My goodness, a penny? Well, she bought a lot of thread. I bet you did. Yes. Me too, Joyce. Whoosh, not me, but we didn't have a Joann's really close. It was like 3.5 hours away. Melissa says, I buy 3-pack of caramel apples from the grocery store. I have 3 kids, so I never got to eat one. You mean they wouldn't even share one with you? Now that my son is away, college though, I get to eat that 3rd apple. Yay. I don't like the carameled apple to be actually on the stick where you bite it, you know. That's too messy for me. So I always like cut the apple up and then put the caramel on top of the apple and ate it that way with a fork. Yeah, I'm not much of a sticky person. Yeah, when I was a kid, I might have been more likely to do that, but all right. Oh, wow, 10 cents a, a spool at Walmart. Hmm. Well, I inherited a whole bunch of thread from Brandon's mom. Plus, I bought a bunch at a yard sale, but I don't even know if that thread's any good. Um, I need to go through it sometime and, you know, if it's not usable, I should just get rid of it. Okay, something's wrong here, so let me see. Yeah, I went too high up. Too much overhang up here and not enough down here. So, I mean, it's off quite a bit. So I might as well fix that. Like at least an eighth of an inch off. Probably a little more. I'm going to finish sewing this block and then I'm going to go ahead and go, you guys. I've been on for quite a while. 2 hours. Okay. Yeah, that's better. I don't know how I did that, but it happens. Alrighty, now this one, then we'll be done. Joyce says, Joe, I remember your show and tell on your thread. You got a lot. Yeah, that's what I was thinking about, Joyce. Somebody said, try Break Easy. It's too old to use. But thread I've had 15 years is stronger than my Orifil. Well, yeah, is it because it's polyester or a poly blend? And you got to remember, Orifil is only 2-ply, so it's not going to be as strong as that, or shouldn't be, as strong as your 3-ply threads. Okay. Another one is done. Oh, you know, if I did one more, then that would be another set of 4. All right, I'm going to do one more. So I have my completed set of 4, right? Yeah, I am. Okay, one more. And then I'll go. One more. There we go. That one. Alrighty. I mean, actually, picking your fabrics is kind of like, should be the fun part, right? One of the fun parts. That's a pretty one. And then about this one. And maybe I'll get a blue. That's good. And how about a striped? Yeah, looks okay to me. It's 100% cotton. Or not, I'll have to check. I didn't think about it. Okay. Kathy. Oh, good night, Mona. Bye, Kathy. Hey, Lynn, how's it going? Okay, try to catch the replay. Bye. Bye, Joan. Thanks for coming. Thank you, Kathy R. She says, thanks for coming on. I hope Brandon's hand will be okay. Thank you. That one. I have to double check with Donna, but we might be going on together on Friday night. I might come on with her and work on this quilt because she would like to get it finished up, but I'm going to have to double check with her. I did get the carpet kit for my Buick, so yay. I haven't got it installed yet. Maybe the next nice day where I can pull the car back out of the garage. I'll get it in there and then I can get all the seats back in and everything. Almost done with the 4th one. Good night, Day. Thanks for coming. wonder where Jamie is today. I didn't see her. Probably with the grandbaby. How exciting that must be, having a new grandbaby. Okay, here goes my last seam. I'm not sure when she goes on retreat. Day would have to answer that if she's still there. There. I think 2 weeks from now. Oh, I'll have to go look at it. No, I was too busy this past few days. So, yeah, I'll have to go watch Jamie's jelly roll. I would be interested in finding another jelly roll quilt because I have quite a few jelly rolls. Okay, that's it. So thanks so much for coming, everybody. I really appreciate it. It was awesome to see everybody. Glad you could be here. And if I don't go live with Donna to finish this up, I'll come on again sometime this week. I would like to get this done sooner rather than later, you know, because it's all over the cutting board. And I just want to get it done. So I've gotten 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sets for blocks done. So I need 7 more. That shouldn't take too long, right? Okay. All the center long seam blocks are together, pressed and trimmed. I think I will be done by tomorrow. Yeah, if you keep it up, you will be. Good night, Susan. Good luck. Goodbye, Suzanne. Bye, Brenda. Thank you, Lynn. Bye, Melissa. Bye, Joyce. Bye, Linda. You have a good evening, too. Okay, Joyce, I will. I'll look at it as soon as we hang up. Bye, Jaja. I hope I'm saying that right. Apologize if I'm not. Yeah, good start, right? Bye, Geraldine. Bye, Donna. Oh, I am? Okay. Thank you, Brenda. I appreciate the prayers. Okay. All right. Love you guys. I'll see you next time, okay? Keep on sewing. Bye for now.